Efforts are being made to standardize different varieties of English in Asia and Europe. Standardization is possible only through codification. Codification is the process by which different rules of language use and different principles, linguistic principles, are documented in the form of grammar textbooks and dictionaries. Without codification, the local varieties of English, different indigenized varieties of English, cannot really be accepted or recognized as standardized varieties. And there's a possibility that without codification, these varieties will not only be rejected by the users of English in the inner circle, the native users of English, but they may not be accepted by the users of English in the outer and expanding circle. So for these varieties to be accepted, to be recognized as respectable, prestigious varieties of English, they have to be codified. Then there's also a lot of effort being made to use local models as alternatives to British and American models. For these models to be used in the classroom, to be used in education, for teaching and learning, again they have to be codified. They will not be accepted, first of all, by the education system to be used as models, and then it will not be possible to teach them if they are not codified in the form of grammar textbooks and dictionaries. So these grammar books, reference books, need to be made available for the learners to refer to them for guidance and to use them as models. However, care has to be taken whether the model which is being used is de jure or de facto. So the care has to be taken that there are not two systems working at the same time, a de jure system and a de facto system, which means that on paper or in terms of policy, the local norms are being used and practically the norms of the native English or the inner circle norms are being used. So even after codification, one thing that needs to be ensured is the real acceptance of the local norms by the people, and to make sure that two systems are not running parallel. One which is the policy, that of using the local norms, and the other which is practically in use, that is people still showing a preference and favoring the inner circle model. Then a lot of responsibility will also lie with the codifiers, because a lot of filtration will have to take place, and distinction needs to be made between the informal use of English in the local circumstances, in the local environment, and the English which may be indigenized, which may be a local variety but still is comparable with international standard. So for codification purposes, the codifiers, the linguists, the experts will have to make sure that what is being selected for codification are samples of educated local variety of English and not samples of informal use of English, which amounts to slangs and which cannot really be used for teaching learning purposes. So if these indigenized varieties, different Englishes, need to be standardized, need to be recognized and used as alternatives to British and American English, they need to be codified, and codification work has to be done with a lot of care and seriousness.